Strange Tales from a Chinese Studio, Story 60.
And our goal here is to look at how this centuries-old story manages to, perfectly blend the supernatural with the surprisingly mundane.
It's such a unique blend, too.
It is. We're getting into themes of fate, civic duty, and just the whole concept of the afterlife.
Yeah, and it's a remarkable piece of literature mostly because it just completely subverts your expectations.
How so?
Well, I mean, if you go into this source material expecting a standard ghost story, the kind designed to terrify you with jump scares or like ethereal floating spirits, you're going to find something entirely different.
You're not getting a haunted house here.
Exactly. The text actually offers this deeply analytical look at how the afterlife might function exactly like a giant, heavily bureaucratic human government. Yeah, we're talking administrative loopholes, extensive paperwork, rigid chains of command, and honestly, incredibly strict workplace policies.
That's wild, because usually when we talk about, getting a diagnostic reading, say a medical diagnosis, there's this expectation of precision, right?
Yeah.
Like if you break your arm, the x-ray shows that jagged white line.
Yeah.
The doctor just points to it. The bone is broken or it isn't. It's binary.
Right, it's very black and white.
But when you step into the world of fate and destiny in this story, that x-ray machine just sort of shatters.
It really does.
We end up looking at this diagnostic landscape of life and death that is, well, heavily mediated by middlemen.
Yes. Because the mechanism of fate here, it's not some divine decree handed down from the heavens. It's literally a system that has to be navigated, processed, and ultimately we filed by clerks.
So let's get right into the narrative. We start with our main character,
Yeah.
who is a cloth merchant from Changqing,
Right.
and he's traveling to Tai'an for business. Just a regular professional out on the road trying to make a living.
Doing his day-to-day thing.
Exactly. And while he's traveling, he decides to consult a fortune teller. But this isn't just someone, looking at tea leaves.
No, the text is specific here. This is a practitioner who specializes in astrology and the really complex study of fate.
Right. And this fortune teller delivers some incredibly grim news.
Yeah, they basically serve as a cosmic weather forecast. In the cultural context of this period, astrological fate mapping was considered a highly technical science.
Wow.
So the fortune teller looks at the alignment of the merchant's charts and is like, your luck is completely bottomed out. You are facing an imminent catastrophic event.
Just the worst possible news.
Oh, absolutely. And the advice is immediate. Abandon your business trip, pack up, and go home to your family right now.
So, of course, the merchant understandably panics. I mean, who wouldn't?
Right, you drop everything.
He packs up all his wealth, gathers his goods, and starts fleeing north. He's just rushing to get back home before this invisible deadline hits.
Yeah, he's terrified.
And while he's rushing along the road, he crosses paths with a stranger. Now, the source text describes this stranger as a man wearing short clothes.
Right, and that detail about the clothing is super vital for establishing the social hierarchy.
What does that mean in this context?
Well, short clothes in this historical era immediately identified someone as a laborer or like a low-level servant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, long robes were reserved for scholars, officials, the wealthy. So this stranger is visibly dressed like a working-class runner or a low-level clerk for a local magistrate's office.
Got it.
He's someone who does the actual physical legwork for a bureaucracy.
Okay, so our merchant, who is currently consumed by existential dread thanks to this death prophecy, he just strikes up a conversation with this working-class stranger.
Yeah.
And they end up walking together. The merchant actually repeatedly treats this guy to meals and drinks along the road.
They bond pretty fast.
They really do. They form this tight, fast friendship. And I kept thinking about this in relatable terms for you, the listener.
Oh, totally.
Like, imagine you're alone on a business trip. You get a terrifying medical diagnosis over the phone, and you're just rushing to the airport to get home.
Such a nightmare scenario.
Right. You sit down at the airport bar, just desperate for some kind of human connection, and you start talking to the random guy on the stool next to you.
Yeah, you just need a distraction.
Exactly.
Mm.
You buy him a few rounds, share some appetizers, trying to forget your impending doom. Except in the merchant's case, he eventually discovers that his new drinking buddy is, well, the Grim Reaper.
The airport bar analogy captures the emotional core of that perfectly, I think.
It really feels like that.
Yeah, and what stands out in the text is how the afterlife is presented through this character. The supernatural isn't fundamentally incomprehensible.
It's grounded.
Very. This ghost isn't floating menacingly through the trees. He's walking on a dirt road wearing the uniform of a working-class courier and accepting free meals. He's literally a guy commuting to his job.
He's on a business trip, just like the merchant.
Exactly. The mundanity is the entire point. The underworld portrayed here operates with physical jurisdictions.
Right.
It brings the terrifying abstract concept of death down to a recognizable, almost tedious human level. The universe essentially manages mortality through civil service.
So, because of this mundane friendship, the merchant eventually feels comfortable enough to ask his new buddy what he actually does for a living.
Right, the classic what do you do question.
And the stranger reveals his job, and the reality of the situation just crashes down.
Oh, yeah.
The stranger says he's a runner from the Hyoli underworld, specifically the Eastern Fourth Bureau.
Yes.
For those who might be unfamiliar, what exactly is the Hyoli underworld in this context?
So Hyoli is a highly specific, localized division of the underworld in traditional Chinese mythology. You can think of it as a regional district courthouse or like an administrative branch of the afterlife.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's the specific department responsible for managing the lifespans and the spiritual census of the people in that geographic area. So when the stranger names his bureau, he's citing his specific departmental jurisdiction.
And his current assignment for that bureau is traveling to Chengqing to arrest people whose lifespans are officially up.
Yes, arrest is the key word.
Right. He even pulls out his physical warrant to prove it. He shows this official clipboard, so to speak, to the merchant. And the merchant looks down, and his own name is the very first one on the list.
Which is just brutal, but the terminology here is incredibly deliberate. The text uses the concept of an arrest rather than like a spiritual harvesting.
Right, no sides here.
No, the ghost operates like a cosmic police officer serving a legal warrant. There's no malice to it, it's simply the execution of a legal document.
So the merchant just breaks down. I mean, he starts crying and begging for his life, leaning hard on their new friendship.
You can't blame him.
Not at all. He pleads with the ghost to save him because, hey, I bought you all those drinks and meals.
Yeah, cashing in the chips.
And the ghost is sympathetic, but he makes it clear he's just a company man. He says he doesn't have the authority to save him.
Right, he's just a clerk.
But, as a favor for the hospitality, he offers a bureaucratic compromise. He explains that there are a lot of names on the warrant, and it's going to take a few days to round everyone up.
The logistics of death.
Yeah, so he promises to arrest the merchant last, giving him a few extra days to go home and settle his affairs.
Which, I mean, it's a small extension of the deadline, but it's granted entirely through the discretion of a low-level worker who appreciates a free meal.
So they keep traveling together until they reach a river where the bridge has washed out. And people are struggling to cross, the waters are dangerous. It's just a miserable situation for the locals.
Very chaotic.
And the ghost looks at the merchant and gives him some very pragmatic advice. He says, you know, you're going to die in a few days. You cannot take all that wealth you're carrying with you.
The classic, you can't take it with you.
Exactly. He says, you should spend your money right now to hire workers and build a bridge here to help these travelers. It might do you some small good.
Some small good. That phrase carries immense philosophical weight in this narrative.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it introduces the concept of merit into the rigid bureaucracy we've been discussing.
Okay, but I have to push back on the ghost's motives here, or at least explore the ambiguity of that moment.
Okay, let's hear it.
Because reading the text, it's really hard to tell if the ghost is actually handing the merchant a known official spiritual loophole to cheat death, or if he's just giving completely secular financial advice.
Right, like, is it a secret code?
Yeah. Is he saying, wink, wink, build a bridge and my bosses will cancel the warrant? Or is he just saying, hey, you can't take it with you, you might as well do something nice for these struggling people before you drop dead?
That ambiguity is central to the interaction, for sure. But the mechanics of their universe suggest the ghost understands the systemic value of the action, even if he can't guarantee the outcome.
So he knows it's a good bet.
Yeah. As a low-level clerk, he doesn't have the power to promise a pardon. But he understands the currency of his universe.
Right.
In a lot of Western traditions, interacting with a supernatural entity to save your life often involves a Faustian bargain, right? Like signing away your soul for personal gain.
Oh, totally. The devil at the crossroads.
Exactly. But here, the Underworld Runners suggest a selfless civic act. Public infrastructure improvement.
It is so fascinating that the ultimate good deed is funding a public works project.
It really speaks to the societal values embedded in the text. The ghost is advising the merchant that the only logical use of a dying man's earthly wealth is to convert it into merit.
Merit being the currency.
Yes. In this bureaucratic afterlife, merit is the only accepted currency that exchanges across the border of life and death. The ghost is pointing out that the merchant has a massive surplus of earthly currency that's about to become entirely useless.
Right. Dead men don't need gold.
So by building the bridge, he converts that wealth into cosmic currency. He can't guarantee what the auditors will do with that new balance, but it's really the only move the merchant has left.
So the merchant takes the advice. And this marks a massive shift in his character, I think.
Oh, definitely.
He transitions from being a passive victim, fleeing an astrological prophecy, into an active participant.
He takes charge.
Yeah, he goes home, tells his wife to prepare his funeral arrangements just in case, but he also immediately hires a crew of workers and pays to have that bridge built.
He just liquidates his wealth to fund the construction.
And then he just sits at home and waits for the arrest.
The psychological tension of that waiting period would be immense.
Unbearable.
I mean, he's done the work, but he has absolutely no idea if the paperwork is going to clear in time.
Exactly. So days pass, and the ghost never shows up to slap the cuffs on him.
The suspense.
Finally, the ghost does appear, but he doesn't have the warrant. He comes with a status update.
Best kind of update.
The ghost explains that he took the fact that the merchant built the bridge, and he formally reported it up the chain of command to the city god.
Right.
The city god then relayed that report to the underworld magistrates, and the official ruling came down. Building the bridge was an act of such significant merit that it officially extended the merchant's lifespan.
Just like that.
Yeah, his name was formally deleted from the death warrant.
Let's break down that chain of command, actually, because it's crucial to understanding the text.
Go for it.
The ghost reported to the city god. Now, in this cultural framework, a city god is a localized tutelary deity. You can think of them as the spectral mayor of a town.
Spectral mayor, I like that.
Yeah, they're responsible for managing the local spiritual census, keeping track of the dead, and basically overseeing the bureaucratic administration of the area. So the city god reviews the report and pushes it up to the higher magistrates.
It really reminds me of fighting a massive, life-ruining tax bill from the IRS.
Oh, that's a perfect comparison.
Like, imagine the government says you owe them everything, and they're coming to seize your assets on Friday. You're in total despair.
Right, you're doomed.
But on Thursday, you make this sudden, massive charitable donation. And somehow, the government bureaucracy processes the paperwork of that donation just in time.
Against all odds.
Right. They officially audit your account, realize you now have enough deductions, and they pardon your debt. You basically beat the system by using the system's own rules.
Applying the IRS analogy directly to the text illuminates exactly how the city god's office operates. Because the city god does not care about the merchant's feelings.
Nope.
They don't care that he was frightened. They only care that the charitable deduction, the merit from building the bridge, was officially filed by a clerk. Fate in the story is not an unchangeable divine destiny carved in stone by some omniscient creator.
Right.
It's a flexible ledger.
But the ledger only changes because the ghost bothered to file the receipt.
Precisely. The universe described in Liao Zai requires administrative processing. If the merchant had built the bridge, but the ghost had failed to file the paperwork reporting the good deed, the merchant would still have been arrested.
Wow.
Yeah, the universe isn't automatically omniscient here. It relies on ground-level reporting.
So because the merchant successfully rewrote his cosmic ledger, he feels this deep obligation to settle his social ledger with the ghost who filed that paperwork.
Right, he owes him.
Big time. So the merchant lives, time passes, and eventually he travels back to Mount Tai. Now, why does he go to Mount Tai specifically?
In traditional Chinese mythology, Mount Tai is recognized as the geographic gateway to the underworld.
Okay, the headquarters.
Exactly. It's the physical anchor point for the administration of the dead. By traveling there, the merchant is going to the spiritual home office to pay his respects.
So he goes to Mount Tai to express his deep gratitude. He performs this culturally appropriate ritual. He respectfully burns paper money and offerings, and he calls out the ghost's name to thank him for saving his life.
Very solemn, very respectful.
Right. But instead of this poignant spiritual reunion, the ghost comes rushing out of the woodwork in an absolute panic.
Just completely frantic.
He's terrified, and he tells the merchant, "You almost got me in trouble." The ghost explains that his boss, the actual magistrate of his bureau, was standing right there.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The ghost tells the merchant to never, ever come back to Mount Tai to look for him. He promises that if he ever travels up north on business again, he'll swing by and visit the merchant privately.
Classic.
And then the ghost just bails, running away before management sees him.
It completely undercuts the solemnity of the ritual with a very grounded moment of workplace panic.
See, this ending confused me at first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the pardon was entirely legal. The life extension was approved by the city god and the underworld. The merchant's name was officially deleted from the warrant. Everything was totally above board.
Right?
So why is the ghost acting like they're committing a crime by speaking to each other?
Well, the panic reveals the harsh reality of strict bureaucratic hierarchies. Just because the life extension was processed legally doesn't mean the ghost's behavior is acceptable to his superiors.
Ah.
Fraternizing with a mortal, especially a mortal who was previously on your own arrest warrant, is a massive conflict of interest.
It's an optics issue for the department.
It's a severe optics issue. It is highly likely a fireable offense for an underworld runner to be seen accepting personal gifts, burning offerings, and maintaining a casual friendship with the very people he's tasked with policing.
That makes so much sense.
Thematically, this connects right back to the core premise of the story. The ghost is not an omnipotent magical savior. He's an underpaid, stressed-out, middle management employee.
He just wants to do his job.
Exactly. He wants to do his job, help a guy who bought him dinner, and absolutely avoid getting reprimanded by his boss.